The night is cold, as in front of you, Faith, the barricades fall. You're fighting the traitors and the dead as another barricade collapses in front of you. You've done a remarkable job commanding your forces, and you've given an unimaginable wave of walking corpses their due as they're thrown back into the grave. They've caused you no end of pain. Your soldiers are fighting on, though. All of the wayward survivors that you've gathered with the blue star, that signal that has lit up the night above Pine Haven, has done its work. All of you are fighting together to survive and to protect this place. The former mega shopping center, the largest in a 300-mile radius. It's become an armored fortress. It's protected by an M1 Abrams tank and a series of artillery cannons called the Fat Ladies. This fortress is now under the full control of the Citadel, the reclamation forces of the United States, led by General Riggs, your mentor. You are the heir to this community, the one that will carry on and begin the hard work of bringing humanity back from the edge of destruction. This apocalypse that you find yourself in the middle of has been short of nothing. You've learned to survive. You're a soldier, and though you never knew the world before, you've been honed like a razor edge, prepared for everything that you're facing here now. The traitors have set booby traps inside of the Romeros and sent them to your walls. One after another, these C4 and dynamite-laden corpses groan and wander closer and closer to the installation and explode one after another. They're drawing swarms of the dead behind them. To the credit of your troops, however, the walls have held out much longer than your enemies expected. You knew that this was a possibility, and you have sharpshooters blowing the boomers up before they can hit the wall. Currently, as you watch the barricade tumble to your right, you're focused on something else. Sergeant Baxter is running down a corridor between two series of sea containers that have created a narrow passageway between steel walls. You had your people corral him here. You originally ordered for him to be shot on sight. But when another opportunity presented itself, when you found him trying to destroy the generator room of Pine Haven, meaning that Pine Haven would never quickly be able to regain power, to reinstall the lights and the electricity that keeps so many people alive here, when you saw that happening, you realized that you had the opportunity to kill him yourself. And you've taken that opportunity, Faith. This is the end of the brief cat and mouse game that you've been playing, and he's already sporting a leg wound that will prevent him from going much further. Above you, a helicopter whirls, and the spotlight shines down as you watch the sweaty, overweight man tumble and fall through this corridor, looking back at you nervously.
Baxter, are you all right? You're not looking too good. I'm sliding down the ridge towards him.
Just stay back. It's not gonna go down like that. You don't even know. You don't know what's coming. Stay back, Faith.
Doesn't matter if I know what's coming or not. But I do know what's going to happen to you. I run up to him and I grab him by the hair. Is your leg hurting, buddy?
You know it is. You shot me.
I step on his leg where it's injured. This is for betraying Pine Haven, for betraying the Citadel, for betraying me. I won't fucking have it. And I cut him across the eyes.
He screams as a gout of blood pours down his face and into his mouth, and he starts gurgling and spitting as he pulls himself back again. He can't see now, and he's stumbling down this corridor towards the end of it as the light from the helicopter keeps shining it forward, and you can see now where this passageway ends, just as you had planned. There's an electrified fence, and he's walking right towards it.
Need a lift? I grab him by the back of his shirt and I throw him into the vents.
His body begins to jolt and convulse as his mouth spews foam as he's shaking. As his eyes, covered in blood, grow dull. And his whole smoking carcass slides down the fence, looking at you, Faith, with terror in his face.
Feels good to be in control. All right, who's fucking next?
You turn. Your troops are nearby. They're gathering together. They're standing at attention. Faith, your army is fighting all around you. You hear the gunshots in the distance. You know that even though the radios are still jammed by the techs, the traitors that have not only cut off the electricity here within Pine Haven, but also all of your radio communication, even though they've managed to take out those vital systems, your soldiers are well prepared, and even these survivors that you brought in are following after. You begin to gather them together. One of the soldiers looks to you. Commander, we have spotted activity near the bunker. Someone is trying to access it. They're making their way through the south gate now. They're under cover. We haven't got the troops available to be able to stop them full on, but 3 vehicles have approached. What do you want us to do?
I feel like I've got this covered. Nox, I'd like to spend some survival points to have done previously this thing I'm about to say. I would like to have set up bombs all throughout the bunker to destroy it. To destroy the passageways, anyone who's in there, to crush them.
That's interesting. How many survival points are you willing to give me to have the entire passageway and bunker be laden with explosives?
Well, how many do we have in the community pool of survival points? I wonder. I'm not sure. I have my own, of course.
Currently, there are 22,000 in the survival point pool. And if you give me 25,000,
What? Oh my God.
I'll allow you to do this.
Holy crap.
Of course. Take it.
You're going to spend everything in the communal pool, and you yourself have 3,000 survival points?
Oh shit, that's right. I did the math wrong. I have 2,000 survival points left. I'm missing 1,000.
You need some of mine?
Can we do this like this?
No.
You can do this like this if you choose. Do you wish to give 1,000 of your survival points to Faith to completely outfit the bunker that everyone has been fighting for with a series of explosives that will not only destroy the passageway, but most likely will collapse the bunker itself?
I feel terrible because I did offer this to you just to yank it away.
It's gonna be like that last episode, huh?
Last
All right.
episode.
I don't do this thing. What can I do for a little less survival points?
You're 1,000 off.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just wait.
You know what to do, chat. I wait for now.
Assuming that nobody spends those survival points before you get to them.
Said it out loud. Sucks.
Looks like someone did just redeem 1,000.
No.
All right, let's say I don't have it.
You don't have it in this moment. So
That's fine.
knowing that they are not, that you have troops that have been working on this, but you don't know the status of this mission. You don't know if everything is correctly armed yet. You know that there are explosives down there. I'll give you that.
Okay.
And I'll give it to you for free. However, it's not yet been rigged up to blow. And everything, while it was being prepared, you know that it's possible. But without radio comms, you have no way of knowing whether or not it's ready. So do you wish to stay at the north gate, or do you wish to make your way to the south gate, knowing that the majority of the fighting is happening here at the north gate? You're taking too long to decide, so let me tell you what happens.
Oh no.
You hear the sound of a big rig truck. As the air horn blows loudly across the battlefield, in the haze of all this gunfire and smoke, the fog of war sort of clears as you see lights in the distance, and an armored big rig semi barrels through the dead, throwing corpses and bodies to the left and right, headed directly down the barrel of your defenses towards the main entrance to Pine Haven itself. And as you stand there, Faith, trying to make a decision as you're looking at your troops and looking at everybody in place, looking at the combat happening around you as the helicopter whirls above you, and you stand there, you see this big rig, and you know it's going to get through the fences. And it's going to end up in the north gate and probably push past all of the other sandbag barricades and other things that have been set up to slow down any approaching enemies. This thing is heavily armored. It has what looks like a plow welded to the front of it. And there are corpses that have been strapped all the way around it. And this thing has been heavily modified. And you see just lights all the way around it too. And you hear music broken, just like the music that you heard over your comms, playing from the speakers on the side, as you know it's pulling all the dead with it.
I tend to jump up into as the truck starts to hit barricades and slow down.
Yes.
I'm gonna try myself to run up to the side of the driver's side to try to jump up into it. And
That
shoot.
truck is far away from you.
Okay, it's far away from me now. Fuck.
But you can start to make your way there if that's your decision.
I do that.
All right. I need to know whether or not you're going to make it there in time.
All right.
Go ahead and make an endurance check for me as you push yourself to the limit, as you run as quickly as possible across the north lot, trying to get to this truck before it hits.
1 degree of success. I'll add 2 from the communal pool.
You're going to take 2 from the communal pool to make it 3 degrees of success.
Yes.
I'll say that you get to the driver's side just in time, just before it breaks through the final set of barricades. However, if you're going to jump onto this moving vehicle, it's going probably about 30 or 40 miles, even though it's been slowed down by all these other barricades. It's still speeding towards the door. And you hear gunshot from around you as you know your troops are covering you, and you see people on the side popping out through these hatches on this truck, and you watch as a head explodes not far from you as one of your troops, someone behind you, shoots that person just before they shot you. Because as you run, they're expecting someone to try to stop them, right? And just out of the corner of your eye, you know from the direction that it came from that it's Cammy, with her sniper rifle and all of the remnants of the original Pine Haven community that have been positioned above in the battlements above that door, above that double door, and they're trying their best. You know Cammy's the best shot that you've got, and you watch as those bullets hit the armored windshield. There's only a slot in the front, like a thin slot, and even when you think maybe a bullet gets through, it doesn't slow the truck down. If you're gonna do this, I want you to know right now, you're jumping onto a speeding vehicle that's about to crash into a wall. Is this what you want to do?
When you say it like that, no. I let it crash into the wall. I step aside for it to slow down. Eventually, it's going to have to stop.
As it barrels through the doors of Pine Haven, the northern gate and the barricades around it collapse. This whole section of the Pine Haven Mall has just fallen in on itself, and half of that semi-trailer is still sticking out. There's smoke and fire everywhere, but it doesn't look as though the semi is completely destroyed. They had put so much steel plating on it that most likely, if anybody's inside, they're still alive.
I order everyone around me to take point by the opening in the back of the truck. Let's kill whatever's in there. Watch out for the Romeros on the side. And I send someone else to open the back doors.
Immediately, one of your soldiers jumps forward and starts stabbing Romeros in the head, killing them, dropping them one by one in rapid succession as they move towards the back of the trailer itself, and then breaks an enormous chain lock and throws the doors open.
I've got my gun trained up.
You've got your gun trained up. And it looks like there's a series of lockers and no people.
What the fuck is this?
I'm gonna let you make one spot listen check.
Fuck. Oh my god, I'm fucking on fire today. That is a 16 over 43, so 3 degrees of success.
You're on fire today. Fitting. You see wires linking all of these lockers together.
Oh boy.
And you know how the techs operate. There aren't many of them. They're not as numerous as the Citadel. They've only been able to cause you this much of a headache by drawing the dead forward and using way too many explosives. They love blowing things up.
Everyone get out! This is a huge bomb, and I direct everyone to leave the area. I also run as fast as I can.
Everyone starts running as the semi-trailer explodes, and you're thrown forward in a fiery ball of light that stretches up into the night sky. Your ears are ringing as you roll forward, and you feel your face scrape against concrete, and you hit the ground, Faith. You feel your soldiers around you, and you look over, and one of the young privates is staring at you until you realize that as they turn, half of their head is gone, and you're looking into the skull right underneath their jaw, which is gone. As he drops, dead.
Fuck. I head towards the bunker area.
You pull yourself up and start dragging yourself towards the bunker. Cain, you don't hear anything. Whenever you wake up, you always realize all over again that you are now deaf and that you've got to interact with this world in a different way. It's something where in your dreams, when you're asleep, you forget, and then when you open your eyes after you sleep, you're back here again in the silence. And you don't hear. But that's not what concerns you this time, because after that moment of realization strikes across you, something far more concerning draws your attention. There's a heavy weight around your neck. You're in a dark space. You smell something familiar, but it doesn't register quite yet. You're bleeding, and your head hurts from the strike that Kusinagi gave you when you were in that ATV pulling forward into the night.
Can I reach up to try to touch what this thing is on my neck?
You feel like large metal boxes and a dog collar. Wires are wrapped around it.
I know how they work. I know what this is. I want to close my eyes, act like I'm still passed out, and after a moment, just crack them open and try to get an idea of my surroundings.
You see Shakespeare and TV and Slingshot passed out next to you. They're also wearing these collars. You can see what it is now. Metal boxes that seem to have been integrated with these chains into what looks like a large leather dog collar. There's a light blinking on each of them, a small red dot that pierces the darkness. You see Bebe strapped to a rolling chair, chained with handcuffs, both hands and arms, and then duct taped across the mouth and heavily to the chair, probably more than what is necessary. Bleeding from the head. There are others here as well. There's the flicker of a TV and a figure sitting in front of it. You watch as through the degraded old VHS play of the screen, you see colorful, bright, animated figures. They're different than many of the cartoons that you've seen. Sharper features. There's a spray of blood. It's violent. The figure is quietly standing there looking down at it. You see the straggly hair of Kusinagi, the tall, scarecrow-like form, staring down at this screen. Bandages wrap the horrid wounds of his body that were inflicted upon him by Riggs when he was tortured. You see as he turns his face in this light, just a little of what you know to be there, a nightmare of flesh. He has no eyelid on the left side of his face. And you can see through his jaw where the flesh no longer covers it completely. You see his teeth in a horrid grin and stitches all the way across the rest of the face. His arm is horribly scarred as his flesh had been flayed off of him. He doesn't cover it though. He stands there in a tank top and a greasy pair of overalls that have been flipped down. There's a workbench to his left and you see tools. You're in a shack. You see other people moving about, but then they step out. You don't hear anything, of course, but you recognize that smell now. It's the smell of the oil and biodiesel of all of the vehicles and machinery from Pine Haven that were working tirelessly to unearth the bunker beneath the ground. The bunker that everyone has fought and murdered and killed each other over. Kusinagi has brought you back to Pine Haven. The last time you were here, he took you for a walk. And now, he's just standing there. You see TV's eyes open. One of them is horribly swollen from a bruise across the side of the face. These others around you are your wildling siblings. The people that you call family. You have formed this bond together in the wild. You exist in this savage freedom. You are the children of the apocalypse. And Kusinagi has captured you and holds you here and has apparently place something very dangerous around your neck.
As TV opens, TV's pronouns, they, them?
They, them.
As TV opens their eyes, I quietly and then look up at Kusinagi over at the workbench. I think I could probably kick out his feet from under him. I'm not bound, right?
You're not bound. Neither are the others. TV's looking, they're pushing their head back and forth, and they rub it for a moment. They see you and they nod, and then they stop, and their eyes go wide. Don't. He's talking. And immediately TV begins to sign to you on the ground as they lay there, giving you some sort of rough translation of what TV is hearing. Because apparently with his back to you, watching this screen, the only real light in this workshop, he's saying something. And this is what you translate from the sign that's given to you. Don't think. You are mine. No escape. You do what I say, you live. Your friends live. Your dog lives. And at that moment, you see next to the TV Spike's cage, and the small, scrappy dog that has protected you and saved you over these months is held within it, as Kusinagi, still standing there, not breaking away from the television, places a combat-booted foot on top of it, still watching the screen. As TV, they continue to sign to you, telling you exactly what Kusinagi is saying. I can hear you, though apparently you can't hear me. Your friend is smart. I hope he can make you understand.
Just another one of you using us as a pawn in one of your games, huh?
I'm good at games.
What do you want?
Easy, although you don't think easy is probably the word, but it's what's given to you. If you get what I want, the collar comes off. If you don't, you die. If you try to take the collar off, you die. If you piss me off, you die. But I can't know that of you. And then TV, they spell your name out and spell Cain. You have teen spirit in your veins. You just die to ruin my day. So I always have options. And not looking away again, foot still on the cage, Kusinagi turns and you see his full face. And his broken, horrid face, which is hard to read, but it looks like he's smiling as he walks towards you, and then immediately turns and with a tanto blade stabs Bebe in the chest.
No!
And drawls it out with his other blade. You can read his broken lips. Whoopsie doodle. You have 1 hour before that wound bleeds her out.
What do you want?
You're small. Your friends, all 3 of them, are the right size. None of my people are. I need you to go somewhere for me. To climb through an air duct into the bunker and open it from the other side. There's an access panel, one that we can enter outside of the main entrance that these jackasses have been digging at.
How am I supposed to know that you don't just blow us all up the second we do this for you?
You don't. But this is your only hope.
No.
I thought you might say that. The Tanto blade goes to Bebe's neck again.
I think we're your only hope. So you better give me some kind of fucking insurance.
I want what is in there more than you can know. If you have it, you can trust me. Because I will do nothing other than everything to get it back.
Fine.
Good. Let's get you ready for your trip.
Get me ready.
DT. It's cold in the dark, but you haven't been as affected by it as you used to. You've acclimated. It's March now, that's what they tell you. March, whatever that means. You don't follow their calendar. You just know that soon winter will break. And you'll be able to watch the green things grow and be free to enjoy the forest with Sugar, your sister. Around you, the dead are swarming, all of them, walking tightly together. They're all lumbering into Pine Haven. And as you and your sister are walking together, she looks at you. And over the past few months after Father brought Sugar back to you, Sugar has changed. And the seed that was put into the new corpse took root and flowered in ways that you don't understand. Lampwick has changed. Lampwick is far less human than he was. Father is no longer who he was. Father is becoming something new. And your sister Sugar walks amongst the dead here with you, you living in her very, very dead in her special way, is taller now. She has slender, long limbs. She's gaunt and pale, and still has all of the signs of rot, but far less so than she's ever had before. Her eyes are large and black, beautiful in their own way, like onyx gems inset into a gray statue. Her hair is a wild tangle that has been filled with colorful scraps of ribbon. And it hangs, the ribbon and the hair, hangs down like a train behind her, a weathered pink and yellow rainbow. In the right light now, she passes for human, but there's something just unsettling to others about your sister, though you think she's beautiful. Is Father coming? coming back soon.
We can only hope.
He ran away from us. Does he not love us, sister?
Sugar. Father's changing. We need to let him do this, okay? As long as we survive together, it'll be okay. We can do this without him.
She holds your hand. You've noticed something else about Sugar. She seems to express emotions, but they're not hers. Almost as if empathically the emotions of humans, living people nearby, she expresses them and amplifies them. And your own confidence, self-assuredness, and love for your sister beam back at you like a mirror. He is seeking the living woman, Achira.
You don't understand. He needs to take care of that. Father did some things that we don't understand. Some really bad things.
He could never do bad. He is our Father, and he loves us as we love him.
That's true.
Sugar, with her other hand, presses it against your cheek, and you realize how cold you've become, your flesh. How the dark circles around your eyes have become more prevalent every day. And you know with your mind, you're able to sense and feel the movements of the swarms around you of your father's children. You, like him, are special. You've been at this for quite some time now, and he's taught you well. It was hard at first, but tell me how you direct 700 of the Walking Dead.
DT has had to take on a stronger voice when talking to them. It's not just like talking to Sugar, where she can control one in her normal voice. So she usually has to take a moment, as she's never felt this type of power before. And she is still a little nervous when doing it. So sometimes the call doesn't reach everyone unless she really, really commands them well.
All right. Tell me what you say to them.
DT turns back and looks at all of them, making sure she can see as far back as she needs to go. And she is going to command them to come forward. And so she just looks beyond as far as she can look. Follow! Follow!
I'd like for you to make a command roll for me, and I'm giving you 3 white dice of improvement due to your sister's support and the support of Babylon, which is with you now. So you get to roll those 3 dice. This is an exploding die, you now roll that twice.
Oh God, okay.
That's roll it again.
Okay, 4.
So that's 14 plus, that's 19, 20. That takes you down to 15. Which is, unless I'm looking at this wrong, and I don't believe I am, that is 3 degrees of success. Now, the question is, do you just want 3 degrees of success, or would you like to spend some competency and turn it into a critical success?
How many would I have to spend? 1?
You could spend 1, and it would turn into a success. You could spend 2, and that success would be doubled.
Go ahead. Spend.
All right, let's do it. We'll do 2.
Yes.
We'll gamble tonight.
It's
You,
the
I believe,
finale.
only have 1 of your own competency left then. There are some in the communal pool. Our friends out there have been very generous tonight, and we are already very close to our goal. However, this game has just begun.
I'll still use the 2 for my own.
With a perfect success, 5 degrees of success, you feel the tide around you, and it's peaceful. It's like lying in a lake and letting the water cover you. Sort of an empty feeling where you're lost and all of the world around you is muted and softened. And you feel as if you don't have one body, but hundreds. As if you are all. Everything around you, the dead, are part of you. And you are part of them. And you sense sugar next to you. Yes. I'm so proud of you. I wish Father was here to see you. He would be proud, too. And as the semi-truck rams into Pine Haven, the dead gather at your back, and the tidal wave seems endless as you all move forward. Achira, you and the other specters pulled back. The corpse that you were trying to interrogate has been destroyed. It was a dead end, quite literally. One that wouldn't give you what you wanted. In fact, your hope that all of these Romeros were connected to Lampwick seems to be correct, but also to something else. Something that seems to be sheltering and guarding Lampwick, keeping him away. Whatever that presence was, you know it wasn't Lampwick. And when the tentacle shot forth from the open, rotten mouth of that nearly desiccated and destroyed Romero, you knew that this was going to be more complicated than you had hoped. You have Spectre 7 and 8 with you. Your full contingency has been spread out, but they are all within communication. You're currently inside of your environmental armor. It is white to blend into the snowy hills around you, but the face itself is of a skull with large black lenses, pits like the eye sockets of a skeleton. The other specters are at your command and are here to usher you to complete your mission. They are accompanying you on what needs to be done. The capture and extraction of Lampwick. What are your new orders?
Before I say that, how many survival points would it take for me to have sent a contingent to get Riggs and torture him over CB radio so that all of the Citadel personnel in Pine Haven can hear him die?
100,000.
That's a tall order.
It's just one man. It's not like I'm trying to line a bunker with bombs.
It is in fact
one dude.
just one man.
One sick dude.
Oh,
Just
Lord.
one motherfucker that needs
But
to
this
die.
is the leader of a faction, a very heavily
Hated
armored and hated faction. Hated though it may be, they have the biggest guns.
Right.
But they're all here.
They have a tank. They have soldiers. It is true.
They're all here now.
And because of that, I'm going to allow this to happen. Because of the fact that the Citadel is, in fact, overcommitted to Pine Haven. And so if you want this to happen, I need 5,000 survival points.
You have it. I'm taking it out of the community pool. Riggs is dying. Today. He does not last another season.
Fuck that guy.
I approve this.
I don't know if your character's upset or if you are, but
How many do you have?
with 5,000
Well, I'm
survival
using the community
points
pool.
from the communal pool,
Got it.
it happens. Leaving 22,000.
Can before he dies, they put the radio up to his face so that Achira can talk to him before they broadcast his death out to everybody
I
in
think
Pine
that's
Haven.
more than fair, given the amount of survival points you've just spent to murder one man.
Not just one man. He was a disease.
So be it.
Achira.
Spectre 2
Yeah.
is a special covert operations member of the Steel City contingent of Project Nero. They work alone oftentimes, but they have been dispatched and you have been keeping in radio contact with them as they undertake their mission. Your initial reports are very favorable. The Citadel wall, it seems as though it's well guarded. There are a lot of lights, there's a lot of activity. It's only surface deep. Once you get past the walls, the interior of the Citadel and any command structure within it are sitting ducks. Spectre 2, receiving your orders, is moving out and should have the target acquired within the hour. Knowing that this is happening, do you wish to do anything about your other mission?
Yes, because that is in the capable hands of someone that I trust to get this done and that I'll know when it's time to talk to him before he's tortured and dies. I'll continue forward. Achira will continue forward with her main mission to locate and capture Lampwick, to extract him, hopefully willingly, but in any way that she can. The Spectres have put stealth first for this mission.
Always.
After everything happened with that one Romero that was transmitted through it, we took to the trees. We stuck with that as we saw the waves of dead passing underneath us. As we went from tree to tree, I kept in contact with everyone to let them know that whatever had been in that Romero, I'm sure that Lampwick had to have heard an echo of it. And if there's anything that I know about Lampwick, the same way that I would go to him, he would try to come to me.
Copy that, 13. We're here to follow your lead. When the target is acquired, we'll do what's needed. If your summation of the situation is that your target is currently on the move, point us in the right direction.
We're going to go in the direction that would make the most tactical sense for a cult leader. He would be in the middle of his flock. So we'll head in that direction. We'll press as far in as we can safely.
13. There are, by our counts, hundreds of the Awoken moving across this plain right now through these forests. We can do exactly what you're suggesting, but we have two options. We take it slow and careful, risking that the target moves forward or eludes us. Or we forego some of the stealth that we have operated with up to this point and move forward with more intention.
We've been doing stealth up to this point. We will continue with stealth, but we will press in. We will get Lampwick. If we don't see him within the next hour or two, then we'll draw him to us because we'll start killing his children.
Affirmative. And Spectre 7 turns and makes hand motions, and you see quick glints of what look like laser lights just quickly switching on and off in the tree line around you, and they start moving. Your extraction cell is on the move. Lampwick. How's your candle?
Still lit. But definitely lower than it was last time.
In case anyone is unaware of what that candle means, that is the entirety of the Lampwick character that is remaining. All of the humanity left in that tortured soul, represented by a single wax pillar that burns constantly every time we meet. And if Lampwick lives through tonight, that candle still represents all that's left. And if the flame goes out at any point during our gameplay, either accidentally or, as we saw last week, by my design, I take control of your character until it's lit again. And I do whatever I want.
Well, it's still lit. For now.
You're running, right?
Yeah, I'm running towards the pinpoint that I felt where that Romero was. That had connected or that was in the presence of Achira. Was I able to see through that Romero's eyes? Was I able to see Achira?
Yes. It was brief. It was clouded, and there was that other presence, that sense of something nearby.
Yeah.
Another like you. Or perhaps more powerful. You are almost certain of where that Romero was, and you're running through the tree line, and your children, the dead, are just around you, but you're leaping through them.
Mm-hmm.
And with unnatural strength and speed and agility, you're grabbing onto tree branches and pulling yourself back, and you find yourself almost running on all fours as you break through wall after wall of standing corpse.
Earlier when I was looking towards the Citadel, I had shifted my vision to see pinpoints of light, and I was able to pinpoint Faith, the kind of brightness that Faith had, and distinguish it from the other living vessels towards Pinehaven. I'm going to try to look at the world through those eyes and try to pinpoint any kind of heat signature, and I'm looking for Achira.
You're looking for Achira now.
Yeah.
I'd like for you to make a spot listen check with 3 black dice of difficulty added to it.
Okay. Wow. Ah, oh my god.
That has exploded 3 times.
Yes, so that's
So 15.
28.
Can't feel more than 5, right?
I know, right? Jeez. So that is 67 over 43. So that is 3 degrees of failure.
If you want to try and change that, you can use either the communal competency points, which are at 13 currently. I have been gifted 20 2 additional risk by the chat. And
boy.
we'll be adding that as well to my 150 that I was sitting on from the effects of a war occurring at the middle of this stronghold.
Great.
So that gives me 172 risk that I can spend. Tell me what you're going to do before I tell you what I'm going to do.
Sure. Okay, so just so, because my memory seems to be in a haze, so my spot listen is 43. From 43 to 63 is 2 degrees of failure, and I'm at 68 is what I rolled. So from 63 to 68 is another degree of failure?
Yes.
Great, so yeah, all right, so that's 3 degrees of failure. I'm going to use competency points because I don't want to fail at this. How many are in? There's
13 in the shared pool.
I'm going to use 4 from the shared pool to make that 1 success, and then 2 of my own to make that 3 successes.
We've been playing for less than an hour.
I know.
Nice.
So 4 to make that, yes, so 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good time to have a bomb around my neck.
3 successes total. Not a critical success,
No.
which is unfortunately what you would need to spot anything related to the specters. They have armor that
Crap.
keeps their body heat from emanating beyond their bodies very far. So it's very hard, even with your amplified vision, to see these people. It's as if they knew what you were able to do and were prepared to keep themselves hidden from you. So even though you have 3 degrees of success, you do not see Achira. However, I will give you this. There's a bright, brilliant explosion in the distance as the walls of Pinehaven crumble. And you see the dead, not under your control, swarming through, as it seems as though a semi-trailer truck blasting loud, broken music and shining lights has drawn an entire swarm of the dead down upon the survivors of Pinehaven. And you do see the heat signature that you know to be Faith. Just on the outskirts of that explosion on the ground, and then you see her bright, brilliant aura pull itself up and start immediately running, not into the building, but around it, to what looks like the south gate. Soldiers are following after.
I hope Jacob got to her in time.
You had sent Jacob with the hopes that there would be some form of communication, but you don't believe that that's happened at this point.
For a moment, Lampwick feels a pull, feels the his children kind of slipping, and there's an impulse to return to what he understands, believes to be a responsibility of his, but there's just something. I know Achira is here.
You have children, but you also have acolytes now. You have the faithful, the living that follow you. They are not dead. But then your children, the dead, are all around you, and the acolytes are those amongst your herd that have become more, have changed under your caring gaze. You fed them your own flesh, your own blood. And in that they have flowered and developed many gifts.
Like DT?
DT is one of the faithful. Sugar is
my
one of your acolytes.
Acolytes, great.
Your
Yes.
other acolytes are not far from you. They always find a way back to you. The one that stays closest to you is the skull-faced figure that stands wrapped in long black robes like a priest, following after you with no face at all, but a endlessly bared skeletal face with the muscles pulled out in a collar of bone that stretches the flesh from the face and the neck out as if it were the collar of a striking cobra.
then I'm going to try this, because I've done it before. I'm going to approach that Romero, and I'm going to grab his hands, and I'm
What
gonna,
name did you give that Romero? Do you remember?
Yeah. He's the Pilgrim.
The Pilgrim. And the others? Clancy and Sugar
And I have the Hound.
and the Hound. You know the Hound is near the front lines,
Yeah.
running with the stalkers, the other dead that have changed, that are quick and dangerous and run and lope through the darkness, agile, far different than the others, the slow-moving Romeros. Clancy is as large as a house, larger than 3 normal, strong men, a mountain of twisted, mutated flesh. But the Pilgrim is different. The Pilgrim amplifies whatever it is in the blood, the black bile, and it allows you to extend your presence, your leadership. The Pilgrim stands before you. Teeth chattering. His black eyes, lidless, stare into yours.
Without hesitation, I approach the Pilgrim, and I grab his hands, and I look into its chattering teeth, its face, its eyes, if I can find them. And I say, I have to find her. And I put its hands right on my face, and I reach out into the horde, flowing through, if I can, the tapping into any of the dead, trying to locate with their eyes and their senses any sign of Achira.
How far do you want to extend yourself?
This is Achira. I'm going to extend it as far as possible.
Then I'd like for you to make a command roll first.
That's 4 degrees of success.
Because you got a single degree of
I did,
success,
yes.
and it immediately converts into 4, given your specialty skills.
And I'll take one from the one from the communal pool
to make it 5.
to make it 5.
A perfect critical success. Now I'd like for you to make a detect motive with 3 black dice of difficulty added to it.
Okay. Come on. Okay. Low rolls. I'm gonna roll 1 at a time.
Shouldn't do that.
Okay.
6.
8. Nice.
Not bad.
So that is
57?
57, and my detect motives is 57.
A
No
perfect
fucking
wash,
way.
meaning you have failed. But that failure doesn't create any negative effects for you.
I'm happy to use a competency point. I'm going to use, I'll use one of my own, and I'll use another one from the pool. And that, with my skill, makes that 5 successes.
Bullshit. Jesus, y'all. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. You reach out, you open yourself, Lampwick, and you feel the Pilgrim transmit your presence into and beyond the scope of just the dead that are here, around you, surrounding you, but further out in all directions. It's as if you, like DT not long ago, find yourself underwater in a deep black lagoon. Everything in the world is buffered and further away. And that's where you see Achira, standing by a fire. Not far from here, but outside of the horde, in a clearing next to a dead man who's been covered in a woolen blanket, gray, but you can see that blood is soaking through it. She's holding a dripping, bloody knife, and she's looking up into the sky. The white armor that you saw her in before is on the ground next to her. And she's wearing a very plain-looking tank top and a pair of pants that are clinical, almost medical. And she's barefoot. And she sits down by the fire and just looks around as if she's waiting on someone. And that's when you realize that this isn't really Achira. Someone is making you see something else. Something that they want you to see. You pushed back before. You surprised whatever entity that was. You made them realize that you were not without powers of your own. Are you strong enough to do something now, or do you wish to allow them to believe that they've succeeded in lying to you?
I'm gonna pinpoint where this is. This fake Achira that something wants me to fall for. I know she's here.
You know where it is. You know where that is and how to get there. Lampwick, you feel it. And the pilgrim is amplifying things all around you. Your child doesn't have any control over this.
I'm going to.
But I do. I told you to protect your candle, and you have not done so.
Next time,
I'm gonna
block his hand.
Yep.
Your character is now mine.
I have one of 2 matches left for Luis to still have control of his character.
Mm-hmm.
You do realize that there is next to no chance of me ever offering you another match, and that when you no longer have matches to relight this flame, you won't be able to help Lampwick at all.
I know, which is why I have to help while I can.
The only way the candle is relit is with those matches? Or is there another?
There is another way,
Oh.
but we'll come back to you.
Fuck.
Faith, you're making your way across the Pine Haven lots. There's fire behind you. You hear gunshots and the screams. Your troops are handling the situation as best they can. You don't have radio contact, but you can tell from the flashing lights and the signals that are being sent amongst your people who are well trained and prepared for this sort of eventuality. If the walls were breached, the fight doesn't stop. This place does not leave the hands of the Citadel without a fight that will kill almost everyone present here, and the soldiers are prepared to die. The survivors who have joined you have not yet realized how severe this stand really is. But they're still fighting. I'd like for you to make a command roll to represent exactly how well your troops are maintaining this, given the morale and the situation at hand. Now, you do have 3 white dice of improvement that you can use to make that roll better, but I already see that you have a 10.
Yes.
Roll them anyway.
Okay.
Get a 0.
I want those dice.
-2. Over 55 for command.
We'll call that a 1.
Jesus.
1%, which is as good as it could ever be.
Mm-hmm.
Your leadership here is unquestioned. These people who you've barely spent any time with are fully prepared to die for you, under your command, and for the glory of the Citadel, and for the survival of what they believe to be humanity's last stand. In the flames behind you, you see flags start to raise. As the red, white, and blue with the skull of the Citadel is raised amongst your troops, and you hear them shouting, "Honor for the Citadel!"
I join them. Honor for the Citadel! Glory for the Citadel! I start to command troops to head towards the bunker, towards the north gate to defend those last 2 areas, to abandon the south gate.
You have 3,000 survival points of your own.
Yes.
There are, I believe, you have 2,000 on
Oh,
your own.
that's
and
right.
there are currently 22,000 survival points in the shared pool. You are 1,000 survival points, once again, away from being able to enact your plan.
Worth it.
Being able to have these explosives brought online. But you're not there yet.
I
What-
myself head to the bunker.
You still are moving closer and closer. As you and the troops make your way to the south lot, you do see that while you do have troops here that are working to maintain the walls in this sector, they are firmly committed to the battle at the north gate. You see 3 vehicles off in the distance and a section of fence that has been breached. You recognize the ATV. It's the Rattler. You thought it was lost.
Can I see who's operating it?
No one seems to be anywhere near the vehicles. There's the one ATV and a couple of converted old trucks that seem to have been jury-rigged. There's large boxes, like sort of makeshift lean-to shacks on the back of each of them. And there are large barrels on the side of either truck, too.
I command 4 of my people to check out the vehicles. I myself am going to track from where I'm standing to see if there are tracks leading out from those vehicles. Where do they go?
You start tracking and you see that a number of them are headed directly to the work site, into the large 20-foot tunnels. They're 20-foot in diameter where the construction was happening, directly into the mouth of the bunker. Off to one side, you see the broken old Blockbuster sign laid out on the concrete, letters shattered and jagged across the ground there. Make a spot listen check for me, Faith.
All right, that is. I still don't know where shit is on this sheet. 3 degrees of failure, but not for long.
Faith, you're in a location hazard.
That doesn't mean shit to me. Am I in the forest?
I'm spending 50 risk.
Son of a bitch.
3 degrees of failure. Do you wish to write it out?
No. I take 5 from the communal pool.
Making it 2 degrees of success.
I use one of my own to make it 3.
You watch As one of your soldiers gets closer to the vehicles, they move through 2 large piles of rubble. It didn't click with you until it was too late, but they pull a tripwire, and an explosion takes them out. The other soldier rolls, and then you realize, just before you hit it, as you were strafing across the one side, looking at the tracks, that they were leading you directly in between another pile of rubble, not unlike the one that just destroyed the soldier that was with you.
Steer clear. There's mines. It's a trap. Motherfucker. These assholes are going to the bunker. Again!
When you announce this and you shout it out, it echoes through the south lot. You see a figure step out from a different pile of rubble, a couple of corrugated steel sheets that had been kind of thrown up. And there's a lot of rock and debris from the construction here, a couple of machines that were broken or you weren't able to get working again. So there's a couple of places that people could be hidden. But you see from this pile to your left a figure step out.
I train my gun on him.
You turn your gun directly towards them as the figure, who's wearing this makeshift armor and a what looks like a football helmet with a bunch of old flashlights and other things that seem to have been attached to the side of it, and then leaps behind the rubble again after showing you a bird.
I call my men back. This whole thing's a trap. There's men back there. Watch this area. Don't let them escape. And then I take half of the group that's with me to the bunker. I'm not going over there.
You're going towards the bunker now.
Yes.
You start moving towards the bunker and you hear one of your soldiers from behind you. Commander, we have a child on the south lot.
The fuck?
Walking towards us. We don't know their affiliation. They're not one of ours.
Well, how far are they? Drag them over here. What's the big fucking deal?
Right, Commander. The soldier starts making their way across the south gate, and you see a pale, very sad-looking young boy dressed all in simple black clothes with their head down. And they've got blonde hair that's almost like straw, almost white. And this boy couldn't be more than 8 or 9 years old as the soldier walks this young man up to you with one hand on his back, but also like clearly keeping eyes all around him as other soldiers are clearing the area and keeping track of any sort of outstanding threat that might appear. And they get back into the small area that you've pulled yourself behind, not too far from the bunker.
Where are you from? What are you doing here?
Your name is Faith, yes?
Sure.
It's important. They said that you were named Faith. Is that your name?
Yes, it's my name. What do you want? Where'd you come out of the fucking woods?
I did, yes. My father sent me with a message for you. Faith is a beautiful name. We have faith. It's a lasting strength that we are given by our Father who loves us. And the small boy holds up a message written in blood.
What does it say?
When I had written this message, we were coming from the north, and I had sensed something powerful coming from the south.
That's correct.
The message says, Faith, it's Lampwick. I'm doing my best to control the horde in the north. Eyes on the south.
Little boy.
My name is Jacob,
Jacob.
and yours is Faith.
Yeah, okay, we covered that. Your father is Lampwick. Is that right?
He is our father.
And your father is trying to protect Pine Haven?
He doesn't want to hurt anyone anymore.
Anymore. Well, we'll see what happens when we meet. Your father did some shitty ass things. The last time I saw him.
We have all sinned, Faith. Is there no forgiveness left in your heart?
I don't know, Jacob. It's run a little dry lately. Can you get out of here by yourself? Or do you want to stay and fight?
I do not fight. I don't need to. I know that I'm already saved. You could be saved too, Faith. It's not too late for you. And Jacob turns and just like walks like he's way too old for his age. He just walks past the soldiers who are just standing there looking down at this 8-year-old boy as he walks back into the middle of this gunfight in the woods.
Just let him go.
It's creepy.
Well, I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. I command some soldiers to bring news to this south gate, which is already fucked, but that there might be more Romeros, or keep out for that, to lock it down, basically. I feel like I've already done that, but...
One of the, well, yeah, you had sent some troops back, but you hadn't pulled any off of the north gate. So the question to you is now this. Do you continue to have the north gate bolstered in the way that it has been? Or do you divert some of your troops back to the south gate on the word of Lampwick?
I don't do it. I keep my men where they are.
So be it. Word is given to the troops that are present here in the south to keep an eye out for whatever might be coming. And you start making your way towards the bunker. Cain. Kusinagi is standing with you and your siblings in a wide open space inside of this tunnel. There is a lot around you. The excavation has gone well, but there's still a mountain's worth of debris and rock that clog this 20-foot diameter concrete tunnel. This is effectively an underground access road, and it terminates in a dead end, filled with construction machines and vehicles, and there are maintenance shacks that have been built, and one of those maintenance shacks is where you and the others were being held. There is some power that seems to be down here. There's a number of generators, and you see Kusinagi's people standing around, many of them with guns, some of them with jagged, strange weapons. They are all dressed in strange, graffitied makeshift armor, not unlike that which you and other wildlings have taken a liking to, but these people are different. They seem to have mutilated themselves. Just like their leader Kusinagi, so many of them have removed their nose or their ear or cut the eyelids away from an eye, stitch themselves back together and pierce themselves over and over with large bits of metal, and you see barcode numbers and things like that on their clothing, and radios and other wires and blinking lights on them as they watch you. None of them return your gaze or your wave. They just watch as Kusinagi walks you through this space. And you see that there's scaffoldings all around here that are built up, and the area was being cleared, but it looks like the work here just stopped all of a sudden. Like they quit the excavations and just walked away. On the scaffoldings, there are large baskets and buckets and winches and pulleys and sort of this spider web of material that has held this whole thing together, but it's just been abandoned. And there's buckets that are filled with chiseled rock, also still sitting up there, and tools that have been left behind. Kusinagi walks you and TV and Shakespeare over to a section of this wall, and Kusinagi turns so that you can read his broken, jagged lips. They've done most of the work for us. They've given us what we need. There's an access panel, a small air duct. You three are just the right size. None of my people are as small as the three of you. I'm not sure that all three of you are going to make it all the way through. You're going to have to really want to make it through. And Kusinagi points to the air vent that he's talking about. And it looks like there's a whole section that has been uncovered. It doesn't look like Faith's people knew about this section. It looks like this was recently dug out. And so you assume that Kusinagi has to have had some sort of blueprint or understanding of what was here and has unearthed this. It's about 18 inches wide.
I've done something like that before. How do I know what I'm looking for?
You're going to find a lot of things that Blockbuster wanted to keep away from the rest of the world. I'm not concerned with any of that right now. What you need to bring back to me is a green metal box with a red symbol on it. It looks like this. And Kusinagi takes a tool, like a large metal pry bar, off the stack of tools to one side and drills in the dirt. And it looks like, even though you don't know how to read, it looks like an S made out of diamonds.
Stay in character. Green.
Red symbol. Don't open it. It's locked. It's for me. Bring it back. Your friend lives. We can patch her up. And all of you get your collars taken off. More than an hour, though. I'm gonna get impatient. And his other hand, you see from his jacket, he pulls out some sort of trigger with a red light on it.
How far away are we from his men?
His men are scattered about, men and women and all sorts of people who are training their weapons on you. Even though they're not within 50 feet of you, you know that if you made a single move, even if Kusinagi didn't just pull the trigger right in front of you, which would probably destroy him too, they'd shoot you.
Not a lot of choices.
Well, you can try anything you want.
Well, I always can, Knox. All right. Fine. And I head up to the vent.
You feel a hand on your shoulder. It's TV, and TV points back to Kusinagi.
What?
They quickly sign to you. He's still talking, and there's a look of just sort of I'm not a complete asshole. And he points over to a large barrel of motor oil.
What? Like that's the trade?
You're going to want to make yourself as slick as possible to get through that tunnel.
That is flammable oil, isn't it, Nox?
It is motor oil. But I will remind you that as far as you can tell, you've got a bomb on your neck.
I'm pretty flammable anyway. Great. Couldn't have gotten water.
Water dries. Oil doesn't. Do it.
Someday I'm gonna kill you.
That day isn't today. Now get moving.
I go and get wet.
To be clear, you and the others, because they will do what you do.
Yep.
You cover yourself in motor oil so that you can be slick enough to pull yourself through an 18-inch air vent.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
I'd like for you to make a number of rolls. Who do you want to go first? There is TV and Shakespeare
Yeah.
who are with you.
What are we rolling?
Shakespeare is he, him, if you were
Great.
curious. Well, first of all, whoever's going to start this out is going to have to make a lift pull,
Okay.
and failures are going to be cumulative. So I'm going to keep track of them, meaning that if any of the three of you fail, it's going to mean there are problems for the others because, again, there are three of you.
Right. I'm going first. I want TV to go second and Shakespeare to go last. Because I think I have the most courage to do this. TV will encourage me forward if I don't, and Shakespeare can take up the back.
So then you are going to make the first lift pull roll.
Yes.
There are no dice of difficulty added to this yet, and you have one white die of improvement since you have your people around you.
Okay. Okay, that's a 36 and my lift pull is 40. 33.
1 degree of success. So would you like to spend some competency?
I'm gonna keep that for now since this is cumulative. I know that rolls are coming. 1 degree of success is fine for that.
It's not easy. You pull yourself into this space and it's old, dusty metal. It's not corroded, it's not rusted, but it's been sitting for so long and there are spider webs all around it. As you pull yourself in, you have to take your arms and stretch them out in front of you completely, and in fact you're not able to move at that point and TV has to push you. And as you force yourself in, the oil is the only thing that allows that to happen. As you feel your clothes ripping and then your skin tearing as you start to bleed, and you feel the sting of the oil around you as you use your fingertips to pull yourself forward on the ridges of metal that are on either side of this air vent, and you are having trouble breathing because of how tight it is. A box of metal all around you, closing in tighter and tighter, and it's dark. You don't see anything. You just feel the wisps of spider web as You pull yourself forward, and they cling to your face and into your eyes as the oil drips down and blood is flowing from your sides, your arms, and your ribs. You hurt, but you're moving forward, and you hear the others behind you.
Forward we go.
Slowly, you move. Make a spot listen check.
Okay.
That's not good. An event.
Oh,
That's a 19 over a 43, so that is 19, 29, 39. 2 degrees of success.
Do you wish to leave it at 2?
I'm gonna spend 1 to make it 3.
With 3 degrees of success, it takes a moment, but you hear crying behind you. Not TV. You hear TV still moving, or you don't, I'm sorry. You don't hear the crying or the sound at all.
Oh God, you're right.
You can't hear anything.
Can't hear a fucking thing.
Never mind. You move forward. That's my mistake. I apologize.
Can I?
Do they get that competency point back?
I'll take my competence.
I'm going
unless,
to give you your competency point back.
Could I possibly have TV have made that spot listen?
TV hears it, but you don't.
Right.
So if you keep the competency point in it, I'll have TV relay it to you.
Fantastic. Just like tap my shin or
Yeah,
something.
no, you feel your foot, and that's the only thing. You feel your foot ground, and then you feel pulsing, like 1, 2, 3. And you know that in the past, knocks, when you could hear 1, 2, 3, meant stop, something's wrong.
Stop.
You feel the movement behind you. The air vent is very secure, like it's concrete on the other side of this. So it's not like the air vent is moving, but you feel vibrations in the metal, and you know something is happening behind you, but you don't know what.
Mm-hmm. And I can. Do I know Shakespeare pretty well at this point?
You do.
I think there's a reason that I put Shakespeare in the back. And I stop and I say, okay. I know it's hard, but we're gonna do this and we're gonna get out and we're not gonna fucking talk to echoes ever again, okay? Just us. Just us. We just have to get through this.
Amazingly, despite what you're surrounded by, despite being in a dark coffin, as you pull yourself forward, covered in motor oil, bleeding and battered, with a bomb collar around your neck, you make a pleading cry out to your friend, to your family. Make a command roll. You have 1 die of improvement.
Okay. I know I have an ability to do with command, but I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it's that if I'm with my comrades, that it like bolsters them the more that I succeed.
The more that you succeed, the more that they will be encouraged onward. But with a 96, I don't see that happening.
It's a 93.
93? That's still 5 degrees of failure, isn't it?
It is.
Which would be a catastrophic failure. Meaning that instead of inspiring,
I don't plan on catastrophically failing.
really.
No, I do not. I would like to use 4 points from the pool and 2 of my own to bring that to 1 degree of success.
While it isn't as strong sounding as you intended. Your voice wavered in points. After a very long minute, you feel another tap on your foot. 2 this time. All clear.
Okay. Let's go. And I keep pulling myself forward.
DT. You're moving amongst the dead. Your father's children are swarming. Sugar is holding your hand as the 2 of you walk amongst them. Something feels off. And in the distance, you hear a tortured howl. And as it echoes out, you know it's your father. But he's lost control. Markia, you are holding a match.
Yes.
I will allow you to use Achira's memory here to perhaps draw Lampwick back from the edge, knowing that there is only one match for you after that point. However, you're not going to do it alone. I need you to tell DT something that Lampwick would have told her about you to use whenever Lampwick loses control. Something about Achira or a memory that the 2 of them shared that DT was to use if her father was ever to find himself lost to the beast.
Okay. Achira would have told DT to remind Lampwick about the time, about the golden lion Zippo lighter. Back during when they were Rag and Bone and they were part of the same crew, and they trusted each other. And this was before Arya. This was before Lampwick became whatever he is now. They were running away from a Romero attack, and for some reason, Lampwick thought he would run faster if he dropped his pack. And Achira picked up the pack, so with hers in his pack, managed to get away. And then later, he was like, give me my pack back. And she was like, what pack? This is mine now. And then she took a 10% commission out of his pack, and one was a golden lion's head embossed Zippo lighter, which had a lot of meaning for him.
Whatever happened to that lighter?
Achira still has it.
All right. So, DT, you don't understand it, but your father has told you to talk to him about a lighter and to describe it in every detail. And he's told this to you time and time again. The shine of the metal and the way that it had a metal wheel that you would click to the side and flip it open with a loud snap, and the metal lion on the front, what it looked like. You've memorized that.
And I'm sorry, let me retcon just a little bit. Lampwick has Achira's stuff, because when she got abducted, all of her stuff ended up in a pack and he had her hand sights. So technically, Lampwick should have that lighter if he
In
kept
that
Achira's
case,
stuff.
you need not describe it. You reach into your jacket pocket and you pull it out. You have the lighter. You're supposed to light it and bring it to your father. And you hear him. He's no longer headed away from the walls, but headed very quickly towards Pine Haven. What do you want to do, DT?
Do I still have everyone following me?
The dead are swarmed around you, and they go where you go unless you command them otherwise.
Okay. Going to try to stop Lampwick, our father, before he gets to Pine Haven. So, if I can, I'd like to command the horde around me to stop, and so we can form a barricade and wait for him.
A living, or rather undead wall to stop your father. His own children to form a barricade to stop him.
Yes.
They do as you command. I'm not going to make you make a command roll because you've already done that. You're still in tune to the swell of the swarm around you, and your sister next to you holding your hand. She looks lovingly at you. You can do anything. You're my sister, and I will always be here for you.
Thank you, Sugar. We can do this together, okay? We just have to make him remember. It'll all be okay.
We'll save him as he has saved us. And the two of you stand there holding hands as the dead lock together, closer and closer, as the beast that is Lampwick is pinned in by the living dead all around them. And he begins swiping and slashing, breaking through bodies and ripping them in half and throwing them and moving back and forth. And his mouth is open. And a black, dark network of tentacles splays out angrily as you see his wide, black eyes and his legs as they bend backwards like a strange, unnatural beast, leaning forward with long claws. Lampwick screams out, destroying his own children in his fury. What do you do?
I'm going to stop. I'm going to hurry up and take out the lighter. And I want to light the lighter. And we're just going to yell out, "Father, stop!"
As long as you manage to light this match without causing it to go out,
Oh, man, not again.
you regain
Right.
control of your
Maybe
character.
stand first,
Yes,
then
right.
light.
Oh,
Get, like,
yeah.
As this
super
small,
close to-
describe yourself, DT, as you stand before this monster holding a lighter out in front of it.
So DT has the lighter as far out as possible, trying to keep back, as she still is holding Sugar's hand. And
It's lit.
she's shaking as she has never really dealt with him in this form. And she's just hoping it's working, and she's just waiting to see if she needs to command the dead again, or if she needs to kill her father.
You feel Sugar standing behind you, her hand on your back, and the two of you face off against this unimaginable horror that your father has become. And the tentacles reach out, and you see them start to splay around you as if they're going to strike, and the razor-sharp teeth drooling black bile inches from your face. As Lampwick, you regain yourself.
I stop in my tracks. I look around. I see DT. And I see the carnage around me. And I turn back to where I felt that image of Achira that I know was not her.
You see the flame, you see the lighter held in your daughter's hand in front of you. Are you afraid?
Yeah, I would say DT's afraid right now.
Oh.
And you see the fear in her face. A tear running down her face. And you see behind her sugar in a black bile tear mirroring hers falling down her face as she supports her sister.
I am so sorry. Forgive me, please. I didn't know. Something's coming for me. I didn't know. And I turn. I approach them. I put my hand on DT, and I reach out and I wipe away the tear from her and from Sugar. I need you near me. And I turn and face that campfire. And I call out, "What do you want? Leave me alone! Achira! Come! I cannot go to you!"
13, we have confirmation. Target sighted. We'll be right back. I'm spending 100 risk. Achira,
Am I in a location hazard?
you're in a location hazard. A very, very complicated one. Around you, the dead are swarming everywhere. You and the other specters have been making your way slowly, but despite your caution, you've had to put down more than a few of them. They seem to be distracted. All of them are paying attention with frightening focus on something further through the tree line. And you, Inspector 7, still within eyesight of each other as the others are spread out in a circle, are tightening and converging upon that point. The radio communications continue. You are still within your environmental armor, and you've received word that, thanks to support from beyond, reinforcements have arrived. 3 additional specters are currently scouting the southern edge of Pine Haven with bad news. There is a second swarm, larger than the first, making its way upon the shopping center. According to the specters, this would make this gathering of the dead the largest convergence inside of the Pin region in over 3 years that has been on record. These sorts of enormous mega swarms are called dead zones. And all of New York is engulfed in one, where the dead continue to gather larger and larger groups together as they mass, forming unassailable pits of the dead that no living thing has any chance of surviving. When these 2 swarms join, according to the specters and all of the intel that Project Nero has at its disposal, if they join, the probability of survival of the Pine Haven community is under 25%. You're moving forward towards something. And then you hear the roar. And you've heard it before. So you know exactly what or who it is.
It's Lampwick.
How do you proceed?
We proceed forward. The Romeros that we've run into have not been focused on us. We're dropping stealth and we're moving forward with speed. We will get to him. I will get to him.
I'd like for you to make a roll for me. If you're moving forward using speed rather than caution and stealth, I'd like for you to make a composure roll.
We're in formation.
You are.
Okay.
You have 3 dice of improvement due to your unit with you. Any negative result of this because of your formation will be lessened.
15, 16, 17, 18. So 18 with that. That's not bad. 46 minus 18. Jesus, math. I hate math.
As you're moving through the tree line, that horrid howl repeats itself. He's close, and he doesn't seem to be moving any longer. And then it stops, and you hear him shouting your name.
I have 3 degrees of success with that because of the new skill that I picked up.
And you're in a formation, so it becomes a critical success.
Okay.
You and the rest of the specters are not deterred by what you are seeing. The dead are mouthing the words that you hear.
Ugh.
What are you saying? What are you screaming, Lampwick?
I'm screaming Achira's name.
All of them, hundreds of dead around you, without making the words or breathing the air into it, are just...
And I say, come to me. I cannot go to you. Something isn't letting me.
You hear that voice. It's ragged, tortured, and all of the dead around you.
Help me.
Now those words.
Voice modulator is off. I'm coming. I hear you. I'm almost there. Hold on. I'm almost there, Lampwick.
Help me. Help me.
Sugar looks to you, DT. She pulls you forward, her hand still in yours, and she presses her hand on your father's back. He's broken, sobbing mess, lying in the fetal position in front of both of you. And Sugar places her hand on your father's back and looks to you. She's so close. Achira comes. I'll stay with Father. You bring her here to him.
Are you sure about that, Sugar?
I'll keep him safe. You bring her. You are like them. They will listen to you. They just see the dead. They don't know what we are.
If this is what you want, I'll trust you.
It's what he needs.
think DT's gonna listen to Sugar and head her way to Achira.
Almost as if instinctively, the dead sort of part out away from you, and you get that sense of them still around you, and they start turning away from Father and looking at you as you walk amongst them, and some of them follow you. Achira, you're moving forward very quickly, and then you see something happening in the swarm in front of you. The figure of a slight young woman, very much alive as far as you can tell, and then you recognize it as DT. DT, you're dressed a little differently than you were before, but you still have the jacket and all the baubles and things that you had gathered before, correct?
Yes.
DT walks out, and the dead are following her. We have a secondary target acquired.
Yes, we do. I will try to contain and get Lampwick, but if I can't, get this target.
Is this target viable compared to Lampwick? Should we eliminate the secondary target and focus on the primary?
These are the only two targets that we definitely know could even be somewhat willing to work with us. Lampwick is primary. This one is called DT. This one is secondary. I will try for Lampwick. If we don't get him, get the secondary target.
Affirmative. 13. Are you moving forward?
I am.
So you move past DT, continuing towards the sound.
Has it been an hour yet?
You'd like for it to be past an hour, wouldn't you?
Yes. I would.
Patience in all things. It has been an hour, but you have yet to hear any radio contact.
Voice modulator is off, and I guess DT is now am I at DT just yet?
Are you going to DT? Are you going past DT? Are you moving through the dead and the trees? You don't know that DT sees you, right? Mm-hmm. You don't know what she's headed towards, but she's walking in your general direction.
Okay. Also, team, paint this target so you do not lose her.
Affirmative. I need you to make a spot listen check, please, DT.
Okay. Oh God, that's a 65.
Yes.
Over 49. So that's a failure.
I am going to allow you 3 white die because of the herd around you and the perception of the dead.
I like these dice. 1, 2, and the
Exploding die, so it's 5 plus 2, so 7. 10 total. So you subtract that from your total that you rolled.
So 55? Oh, that should be a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 55,
It's only 1 degree.
yeah, 1 degree of failure.
Would you like to take either communal competency points or spend your final competency remaining? The more you succeed, the better this is for you.
Okay.
Keep in mind, I am going to be dropping out of the tree soon, so if you want to save it for other interaction, you
Shooting someone,
Okay.
for instance.
yeah.
can. No, paint the target as in.
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
I understand.
No, Dad, don't tell her.
Can I'll use 2 out of the pool.
So you take 2 out of the pool, and it brings you to a success, but not a critical one. And with that, it's going to allow you to see just a blur of movement in one of the trees. And it's almost as if you don't see it through your eyes, but through some of the dead near you. And at the last minute, you turn as you get hit with a paintball. And there is a mark on your shoulder. I know what you meant by painting. But they took it,
but I totally get it.
and
All right.
they have struck you. And there is a bright green splotch across your jacket, and it smells acidic, like very strong. And you can see that it hasn't pierced your skin or hurt you really in any way. It just felt like something hit you hard, right? It's annoying. But there is a small tear in your jacket.
They have to take everything good away, don't they? Can I see Achira at all?
I would be coming out of the trees to be with DT, and as I'm coming down, I'd be like, "Nice one, 10."
You hear back, "We're going to be able to track this one now."
Fair enough. Achira would come out of hiding so that DT could see her
What you see
and remove her helmet.
is a figure in white armor with a skeletal helmet. And then you hear as the compression of the helmet and the environmental system is removed alongside the helmet, and you see Achira underneath that armor.
Is he okay?
He needs you. He needs you now. Look, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you're doing here. But he needs you.
Can you take me to him?
Yes. Can I trust you?
Yes.
Then why are there people shooting at me in the trees?
This is something that I have to talk with Lampwick. But there's a deal that I need to make with him. Something that will keep him and his children safe and will keep us safe as well. But if he's too far gone, then I need to talk to you and make that deal with you.
You did get me to this point. I have missed you, Achira.
I missed you too, DT. I miss before all of this. But we can't get that back. We can only move forward.
Okay. I can take you to him. Sugar's there with him, and I honestly don't know what's happening right now, so the sooner we get back, the better.
Can I trust you, DT?
You can always trust me.
Can I do a detect motives on that?
You can make a detect motives roll.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. Which of my things? Alright, pretty good. That's I get a automatic success, and I got a 12 out of 35.
Make a persuade roll for me.
Okay.
That's a 9, plus you get to use your 3 dice of improvement. So that is,
6 or 8.
yeah, so 1. You've rolled a 1. That's 5 degrees of success.
Or 12. Okay, so that's 3 degrees of success without me using competency. I'm about to follow DT into basically a herd of Romeros, and I've taken my helmet off, so I'm going to use 2 competency points.
You sense danger around you.
Oh, yeah.
You are definitely in hazardous terrain.
Yeah.
So spending 2 matches DT's success. Each of you then have 5. You're spending 2 of your own, correct?
I'm spending 2 of that one.
You're spending 2 of the group competency?
Yeah.
All right. So with that in mind, DT, Are you being sincere?
Yes, as long as she doesn't plan to harm Sugar, then yes.
You know, because of, first of all, these successes and those successes, they are equal. They are both critical. You know that DT is showing you exactly what DT wants to show you, and that DT also has lines that shouldn't be crossed. You know that the dead, for DT, are off limits from the way that she's moving amongst them, the way that she's speaking. It's clear that she's being honest, but there's a point where you become more dangerous than she's willing to allow you to be.
Oh. Into the lion's den.
Do you keep your
Let's-
helmet off?
Balls. Yep.
The other specters are following at a distance. They're not revealing themselves or their exact positions. You know that you will have snipers on the ready. You know that the paint plug that has hit DT contains a tracking device. As long as that jacket is worn, DT will not be lost. You and the dead around you, DT, start walking Achira back.
Yes.
Do the two of you say anything to each other as you walk?
How bad has it been?
It's been pretty bad. Everything's changing. Even my own sister's changed.
I am glad that you got Sugar back.
Me too.
When you say that she's changed, are you just saying with Lampwick putting her into a new Romero?
You know, changed like they all do.
Has she hurt any living people?
No, Sugar would never do that. You know that.
That's right. Sugar wouldn't. Some of them do, though. Some of them hurt. Some of them kill. And it isn't fair the way that they do it.
So do humans. They all
We-
kill.
We try to survive, DT. We fight back so that we can survive. But, you're right. There are definitely humans that do not deserve to live. They're not part of the new dynamic that I'm hoping we're able to establish. The Citadel and all the denizens of it, they're like a disease. They kill us, they kill you and yours, and they don't fight fair.
My family's not like that. Father, Liquid, he's trying to make them good again. We're here to help.
Have you felt or know of the other thing that's out there? It tried, whatever it is, it tried to fool me into thinking that it was Lampwick.
That's different. It has to be. Like you said, there's good and bad, no matter what.
It talked to me through a Romero, like Father does. I don't think whatever that is any good for any of us.
As you two approach a clearing, an enormous abomination moves amongst the dead. And Achira, you breathe inward, realizing that for years now you've been harried by creatures just like this. Large, mutated, heavily muscled Romeros that have a level of intelligence that they shouldn't. This is the largest that you've ever seen. The size of 3 well-muscled men, as if they had been conjoined together into an enormous wall of muscle and flesh. It doesn't even make sense anymore. They're swollen, twisted masses of flesh. And the creature stands with a burlap bag ripped to shreds hanging over their head and steps in front of you. And the thing towers over you, looking down. DT, this is Clancy, one of your father's acolytes.
Clancy, it's okay.
Cheer.
God.
It's okay. I promise, it's okay. He just looks different. Again, he's just different. It's okay.
Clancy steps to the side, and you see Lampwick on his knees, being comforted by a young woman that you don't recognize until you get a better look. That's no woman. That's one of them. The Romero looks at you with bright, intelligent eyes that are completely black. She smiles. I'm so happy to see you, Achira. DT and I have been waiting.
Oh my God.
It's okay. I told you it's okay.
I mean...
Sugar. It's Sugar. I told you she's changed.
It's all right. I know you're scared. I can feel your heart. It beats so fast. Father's been waiting, Achira. He's been waiting for you. Welcome. Sugar steps back. Lampwick, you're still in a fog, but you're back. You're whole. The strength of Sugar and the others has brought you back to yourself.
I look up. I look at Achira. Have you come to kill me?
I don't want to.
Why are you wearing that?
Remember the information that you risked your life to get me about me being immune. These people are working on a cure so that there can be more than just me and a handful of others. They're called Steel City. I need your help. Lampwick.
You need my help. I've been chasing you for longer than I can remember. Begging you. Why did they take you the way that they took you if they're the good guys?
I didn't say they were the good guys, but they're trying to do something good, which is different than any other community that we've run across. They're trying to make it so that people like me, DT, your living children, have a choice.
They have a cure?
They can. But I'm only half of that puzzle, Lampwick.
What's the rest of it? I need you to explain it to me so that I understand.
What do you call the dead? I'm guessing you don't call them Romeros.
I don't know what to call them. I guess they're my children.
Your children?
I don't think they're dead. I don't think we're dead.
I think you're right. They are infected with an alien biotoxin. It's a hybrid. It was cultivated. A bunch of rich assholes got together and have been cultivating this and have been systematically trying to infect us with it to make better soldiers, to make this happen, to be able to send those infected people into war for them. They've done this over and over again. I have documentation and everything with it. In the 50s, they tried to get away with it. But this time, it got out of control.
And it backfired?
And it spread.
And it spread. Okay.
I'm working with them because I want to give living people a choice. One bite would scratch black bile, and then we have no choice. It's just a matter of time.
Is there a way to cure us? And I gesture to those that are around us.
If you come with me, we can find a way, and that's what I'm saying. We can find a way so that more of you are like Sugar. If they're not like Sugar, more like her than... And Achira points to that giant, in her mind, killer thing that said her name when she walked up.
That's Clancy. He is like Sugar. He is. You can't judge somebody by how they look. That's the gentlest giant you will ever see.
I'm not gonna argue with you over that.
We don't have time.
Lampwick, if you come with me, we can get back control of this.
Every time I go...
We don't have to live behind walls. We'll give the world a chance,
I need conditions. I need to make sure that everyone here will be safe. They're all alive, Achira. They can all be saved. If what you say is true, then you have to take care of your sick.
What about the other one? The other one that reached out through Romero.
There's something else here, Achira. Something else is fighting my influence. And I think that they're the ones that are coming from the opposite direction. I don't know what they're doing here. I don't know why we've been funneled here. But we have been pushed here like cattle towards Pine Haven. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being used as some kind of a pawn. I don't want to go there and hurt those people. And the closer we get, the more they're going to hurt us. Are you the way out? Are you going to take us all home? You have room for all of us with you.
I have room for you. Or someone that you could nominate that's like you. This is the long game, Lampwick. This isn't just today. This is the future of all of this.
I don't know how much of a future I actually have.
Let me help you.
I don't know what it is about you, Achira. I don't know what it is.
You think I don't?
I can't
get you out of my head.
You need to promise me that you're going to help. You need to promise me that you're going to keep. I'm not leaving without them, Achira.
Do you see the size of this horde?
Yes. Let them be nearby. Let them be close. I can't abandon them. If you want me to hold on to any shred of the humanity that I have left, which I know you need, then you can't let me compromise that by abandoning them. It's all or nothing. You take us all and you take care of us all.
Oh my God.
You have to make it work. You, wherever you came from, with whatever technology you have with these suits, you have the means. You must.
I have to have a promise from you. I can't bring all of this back even close to it if there is something else out there that can turn your children against us. Can you even hold it together, let alone whatever that thing is out there?
I'm not alone, Achira. I have DT, and I have Sugar, and I have others. And you take us all back, and we'll be able to hold it. We're a community too. And just like the Citadel has traitors, people that turn on them, yeah, that might happen here, but as long as we show them that we have their back, as long as we prove to them again and again and again that it's worth staying on our side, then they will.
The Citadel cannot be convinced. The Citadel is a disease. The Citadel is already gone.
You came from the Citadel. You're evident.
Don't you ever say that. I did not come from the Citadel.
But you were there long enough. You were there long enough, and you held on, and you held out.
Do you think that's? You say that like I'm not an exception to the rule. Do you have
others here that came from the Citadel?
Like who? Faith?
Yes.
Have you? Pine Haven used to be a community of people. Pine Haven is now a Citadel outpost. Look at those guns. Look at that tank.
Then who's fighting them? Where's Riggs? He's not here, is he?
I've always been fighting Riggs. Ever since I finally escaped. The children he made me kill, the ones that couldn't be trained, the ones I tried to escape with some. Faith was one of those when she was a baby. and I couldn't take it. I was too broken by that asshole, by that shit stain.
Without your helmet on, you don't have radio contact. And you see the lasers as they land on Lampwick.
Do I notice this?
Clancy moves. The herd begins to become uneasy. DT, what do you do when you see these lasers surround and land all around your father? There's at least 6 or 7 of them.
I'm going to immediately turn to Achira and ask, what is happening? What is this?
Let me find out.
I thought you said we could trust you.
You can. I put the. Is there any way to detach?
Yeah, you can detach it.
Yeah, let me detach to put it in my ear. Stand down. What are you doing?
13, we have movement on the southern edge of this community. We need to either move now or abandon the mission.
You will hold. The mission is still on. We are talking, so you will hold. Put those lasers down. That does not help anything.
And when these corpses start turning again. 13, do you know where you stand right now?
Eight. I'm extremely aware of where I'm standing right now.
You are an asset to our people. My primary directive is to ensure your safety. I will fire if he moves.
He won't.
We will stand down, but no, we still have weapons trained on him. And he moves 1 inch towards you. All available specters are to fire.
God damn it, 8.
You have to understand, 13. We have a secondary target now. We don't need him.
We do.
Don't let your emotions cloud your judgment here. What is best for everyone, not just you?
I'm thinking of more than just me. I am.
I believe in you. On standby.
What's going on?
You're losing control of part of your horde.
I don't think I am. There's another horde here.
Towards the
DT,
south.
That's something else. The ones coming from the south, that's not me. It's not us.
8, that's a different horde. We're going to handle it.
I've come prepared to defend my group and what I thought were the people in Pine Haven that were worth defending. DT, you told me of the people that were there. And I wasn't remembering everybody initially, but I know that Cammy's there.
Cammy's smart. If we move through Pine Haven or even around it to take care of the southern horde, Cammy and the few that are left of original Pine Haven Citadel has eaten through this place like a cancer.
In the night sky, the blue star starts exploding again.
What is that?
Faith. You're in the middle of a gunfight. They're not letting you enter the bunker. There's a number of them that have positioned themselves on the far side. You've taken fire, but you're safe so far. One of your soldiers is down. Others are coming. What do?
I use the survival points that have been gifted to us to make sure that the bunker has previously been lined and is ready to be exploded.
Well, let's be absolutely clear about this. You're going to spend 25,000 survival points, everything that is in the communal pool, to ensure that the explosives are not only set, but they're armed.
That's right, it's the last episode.
It's the end of a season, but I'm not going to argue with you.
It's not gonna roll over.
You have armed the bunker with the explosives. You have a box. It is a very durable container. The soldier next to you is holding on to it. Inside of it are 2 keys that have to be turned. You have one, the soldier has the other. Once it is armed, the whole thing goes. But you know from the demolitions experts that you've spoken to, the people who have been well trained, some of the soldiers from the time before the fall helped to arrange this. These demolition experts worked in military operations overseas. This will keep Pinehaven safe, but it will eliminate everything on the southern lot. Anything or anyone within this vicinity is very unlikely to survive.
I call away as many people as I can to evacuate this area. I hadn't reinforced the south, so there's probably less people than there would have been.
You see a dark mass on the ridge. It's a large mountainous region, you know. The Pin region is covered in these heavy mountainous areas, and this is no different. And from the ridge, you see like water cascading down the side of a building or a window, like droplets. Little dark specks that are running. You think they're similar to the things that you saw when you were out in the wilds with the rest of the Ender's line. Those fast, furious creatures that run more like dogs than humans. The animalistic dead, and they are charging down in a swarm, making their way closer and closer to the southern lot.
Well, isn't this great timing? Soldier with me. And I run with him as far as we can away from the south, back towards Pinehaven. And I want to time us turning on all of these bombs when there is a mass of the undead near it.
Sergeant Brax is next to you. And Sergeant Brax looks to you. Commander, I am prepared to die for the Citadel this day. Give me both keys and make your way back.
I put my hand on his shoulder. Good. Thank you. You will not be forgotten. Sergeant Brax, we're gonna go up on that wall.
Joseph.
Joseph. Good luck. And I leave.
Where are you falling back to?
I'm gonna go back towards where the other gate is, the north gate.
You're moving back towards the north gate where the majority of the combat was occurring.
Yeah.
Okay, you make your way back, and Joseph Brax, Sergeant of the Citadel Reclamation Force, salutes you as you move off, holding on to this case, 2 keys dangling. You move back to Pinehaven. Cain, I need you to make 3 more rolls for me.
3 rolls.
Same as before. Lift, pull. Around you, in the darkness, you feel this air vent getting smaller. as you pull yourself with your fingers. Your fingernails are bloody and raw. One of your nails has completely broken off and is bent backwards. As you continue to drag yourself through, slowly, inch by inch, in this air vent, covered in oil with a bomb collar strapped around your neck.
Do I get my white die?
You get a single white die.
Thank you. Come on. Okay. All right, that is 78 over 40. So that is not 4, but 3 degrees of failure. Okay. I'm going to use one of mine, 2 from the pool, to make that a success.
That leaves 4 competency points in the pool.
Yes.
I'm going to spend 50 risk.
Okay.
You feel 3 short taps on your foot.
Okay. We just have to keep going. I know it's hard. Shakespeare, if you need an out, TV, if you can do it, just hold on to TV, okay? We can't go back. And if we stay in here, we are going to die. That's it. That is what is happening here. But if we get out, we're gonna be okay.
A long moment passes. TV doesn't tap at all, but just lovingly holds onto your ankle and then pats it and then removes their hand.
Thanks. I keep pulling forward.
2 more rolls. And no one seems to be following you any longer. There's no vibration as you realize what TV was doing. TV seems to be staying with Shakespeare.
Okay.
That's 100.
Oh, wow. No.
It's an immediate 5 degrees of failure. And you're running out of points so quickly.
Okay.
Trust me, you don't want 5 degrees of failure when you're
know.
wearing a bomb collar.
I have 2 more of my own. There are 4 in the pool.
1 degree of success
Oh my god.
if you take them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
Save TV and yourself.
Yeah. Wait. No, I'm alone now. I don't have my white die.
Oh.
Yeah. 6 points.
1 degree of success.
And a final roll.
You barely make it forward. You're losing the will to do this. I need you to first make a composure roll. You are moving forward. You are not stuck. However, are you willing to keep moving?
That's 2 degrees of failure.
You don't have any points left.
And there's only 1 in the pool.
You could take that final point, and you could use it to make this less of a failure, but it is going to be a failure nonetheless.
Do you have any survival points?
I do. I have all of my survival points.
Well,
Now's the time to use them.
If you want, I can make this a critical success for you.
How nice.
I want you to give me Marquia's last match.
What the?
I'm gonna choke.
Can I do that?
Yes, you can. 5 degrees of success. You'll make it out.
I am choking.
Are you okay?
No.
Please don't do that. Do it. Chaos Gremlin. No. Don't
Oh
do
my
it.
god.
Can we cut the scene for me first? Oh my god.
survive. You can do it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
I'd like for you to burn this match on Luis's candle.
Oh fuck.
Oh fuck.
Oh no.
Hey, well,
I'm really sorry.
Oh.
listen. It's a messy game.
Oh. That just killed both of us.
Sure. Damn.
Oh.
That burned really fast.
Cain, you pull yourself out. Just as there's an explosion behind you. You feel dirt and debris and air push you forward. You know what happened. Something went wrong, or one of them pulled their collar, or there's no way anyone survived. Both TV and Shakespeare are gone, and if you had any thought of trying to climb your way back out through that air vent, that's definitely not happening now. It's dark and you fall forward. You're in the dark. The air here is stale. There's a heavy, musty odor to everything. As you're stumbling around, as you try to regain your footing, your head is spinning from the vibrations and you can't hear anything at all, but your eyes are adjusting and you think you start to see shapes. What do?
I scrabble on the ground with my hands on the wall. I try to look for anything that could light this place up. If I can't find a switch, I'll look for a flashlight, anything.
Make a spot listen check, please.
Okay. Okay, that is a 6 over a 43. So 3 degrees of success.
Blindly feel your way across the wall, and then you feel what can only be an enormous switch on the wall, as big as both of your hands. It's a piece of metal like a U, and it's hooked onto something else, and there are large wires going off, and you're not sure, but you've seen these on the generators in both Pinehaven and some of the other walled places that you've been. They seem to be master power switches.
I throw it.
There's a moment. As lights, fluorescent and bright, start to turn on in bays over your head, and you find yourself standing in an enormous underground room. There are shelves everywhere, filled with boxes and crates and barrels. This place is hundreds of feet in size, stretching out in all directions, and this is some sort of storehouse unlike anything that you've ever seen before. And in the far side, you see a door. What do you do?
Almost in a daze, I walk towards it.
You stumble. You're dripping blood. You peeled off skin. Your fingertips are bloody and raw. You're missing 2 fingernails as you stumble, covered in oil, like a horrid ghast or ghoul. Barely human. You see mirrors to your right and your left in the ends of these shelves, so that others can see the full inventory stock, but you're just seeing yourself. There are curved mirrors at the top. Everywhere you're seeing your reflection as you pull yourself towards this door. Lights fill a large circular room, and music begins to play, but you can't hear it. You just feel the vibrations in the air and under your feet. It's gotta be loud, because otherwise you wouldn't feel it through your shoes and the floor. And in the center is what looks like a carousel, though you've only seen these things broken and ruined. Horses and other animals are bobbing up and down as they turn, and there are mirrors and lights, and there are arcade games all the way around it, and there's lights and flashing symbols and signs, and it's some sort of amusement park. A small arcade. And across the way, you see another series of doors.
I have seen a carousel. I look back. All of the things beforehand, those were boxes and boxes of things that I don't know what's inside, correct?
You don't know, but they look like they've all been marked. You don't read, so you don't know what they say.
I don't know what this is. I've seen it before in a life that wasn't my own, something similar to it, but I'm here for something. And I go and open a box to see what kind of things are inside.
You turn around, you go back, and you throw one of these enormous plastic crates down to the ground, and you have to break it open. But when you do, foil-wrapped packages pour out.
I crack one open.
You break it open, and it, amazingly, it seems like it's still edible. It's food. Freeze-dried.
Another box, different markings than is on that one.
You open another, and there are plastic-wrapped bundles with clean white jumpsuits.
Fuck. Did Kusinagi say something about an access panel?
You remember the room behind you, this arcade, and the rooms beyond it. You think that maybe this is just a storage room in the back of it, and that you've come in through that air vent
So this is the
and
back.
found yourself in just one section of it.
Yeah.
There might be more here if you wish to explore it, or you can continue to search for what you're looking for within these boxes that...
No. I don't think anything special is kept here.
But there's enough here to keep an entire community alive.
Yeah.
To keep them healthy and strong, clothed and warm, everything that a community would need to survive for years.
Behind a wall. I go forward.
You go through the arcade, you enter into another room, and now you see what must be Blockbuster's living quarters. Stacks and stacks of VHS tapes line the walls. There are cardboard standouts of characters. There's art stacked in piles across the wall. This is a museum, a collection of all of the art and pop culture of a forgotten world. On the far side of the room, lit with a special light, there are Christmas lights everywhere. And there's a bed and a TV, and the TV has turned on. You don't hear anything, but you see the images blurred of a kung fu movie as you watch a number of opponents fighting each other in a blur of action. And you see on that far wall a picture that you don't understand, a painting. It's a can of soup. It's red and white and has letters on it that you can't read. But if you could read it, it would say Campbell's. And underneath it, on a pedestal, is an enormous gold and gem-encrusted chainsaw.
Fine.
And you can't read the sign, but if you could, it would say Jamie Lee.
No.
I look back at the tapes and the TVs and all of the movies, and
There's so much here, but on a table, there's a note. You don't know what it says, but right next to it is the box that you're looking for. You see the symbol, and you immediately recognize it.
I walk over, I pick it up, and I shake it.
Something's inside. It's not very heavy, but there's a lock on it. You'd have to break it open if you wanted to see what was inside.
I'm not completely interested in that right now. There's that chainsaw. Are there any other weapons around here?
There are so many weapons here. There are swords. There are perfectly kept sets of nunchuck that have been framed across the wall. There are training dummies strewn across this place. Blockbuster, apparently, was always working hard to improve his skills here in this bunker. You see bats and axes and guns, whatever you want, you could probably find within this space. There's another door and you see through it. It's an entire armory. Guns, big, powerful, dangerous looking guns line the walls. And on the far side of it is a long weapon that you've never seen before. It's a tube with what looks like a missile at the tip of it.
Okay. And I walk forward and I'm looking for a bat, 2 pistols, and I'm taking that thing.
It's big and heavy, but you take it. And you start moving through. You see another door, and it's open, and you smell an odor of old dead. And you hear behind it, oh, you don't hear it, but you smell the dead very, very pungently.
Interesting. I would like to... I think that's probably my only exit, right?
Something on the other side of that door is going to probably lead you through, but you do smell this
I
horrid
know.
stench.
All right. I am going to take one last look at this place and think about how much my friends that were just coming through the vent with me would have loved it here. And then I destroy it as I set up barriers in front of the door. A table, rack of movies. A way to keep them siphoning through one at a time once I open that door.
It's a long hallway. Do you step through and investigate that area?
Yeah.
You open the door. Nothing comes out.
Is it dark?
It's well lit, just like everything else.
So I can smell the dead, but they're not here.
They're close. You smell them, but you don't see them.
Fuck. I'm gonna proceed forward as cautiously as I can. I can't hear. I don't have my friends or my dog.
You step into the room and you see what you couldn't hear. You see them behind iron bars. A number of individuals that presumably were not dead before Blockbuster disappeared and stopped coming here, but they definitely died afterwards. In fact, some of them look like they've half-eaten each other, and you're not sure that happened before they turned. But maybe it did. Scrawled on the floor in blood and gore, just outside of the barred cage that you're looking into, Nine, 1, 2, 1, 0.
91210. Do I know any special significance to that?
You look across the room and you see the large vaulted door.
Fantastic. Do I have a lot of ammo? Knox?
You have as much ammo as you want.
I am going to take aim through these bars and take these creatures out of their misery before I go forward.
5 of Romero's are killed.
Okay.
Peacefully put back to the ground. Their misery ended.
And retrieve the ammo that I used. Head forward towards the vault door.
What do you do?
I look for somewhere that I can enter these numbers.
There's a combination lock. Tumbler.
Input 91210.
Takes a few tries. You've used locks like this before, but I need you to make a single roll to make this work.
What's the roll?
I'd like for you... I won't make this an engineering roll. I won't make this a digital systems roll. But I will make it a composure roll.
Yeah.
As you try to keep your calm as you figure out how these numbers work with this spinning log.
Okay. God damn. 3 degrees of failure.
And I don't know for certain, but I do believe that there are some additional competency points available to you.
There
in the
are.
It was like 5.
So the question is, how many of those are you willing to burn to make this a success? Otherwise, you're staying put, and I'm moving off of Cain for now.
I'm just gonna...
Take him.
I've taken so much. I've literally burned Lampwick.
Which means you can't die now.
If I take 3 and make it a wash,
It's still a failure.
still a failure.
You go nowhere.
I go nowhere.
4 or nothing.
Do it.
I'm being
Just
bullied by chat too, which is
chat, just do it. Yeah.
okay. All right,
Just go
for
for
the
it.
drama.
There is 1 competency remaining in the communal pool. You finally find the right movement to make this number series work. The door opens, there's a huge rush of air, and you see a ladder leading straight up.
Up I go. Actually, before I do, I'm so sorry. There's mirrors, and there's a lot of tools here. Do I get the idea that if I removed this, it would immediately blow? Or is it not that refined?
2 of your friends are dead from something that happened in a tunnel. Do
You're
you
right.
want to try?
You know what? You're right. 2 of my friends are dead in a tunnel, and I know who did it, and I'm trying to take this off of myself? I'm gonna kill him even if it blows me up. I go.
You put the rocket launcher on your back, on the strap, and you carry the heavy weapon upward as you pull yourself rung by rung up towards a hatch. It opens. There's rubble around you, and you hear movement of rocks. You feel movement of rocks as you see things pulling away from you. Light, flickering firelight. One of Kusanagi's men stands before you, jagged, self-mutilated face. Turns and yells something back that you can't hear.
I aim up with my pistol and I shoot him in the head.
Go ahead and make your pistol roll.
I have a 2 in pistol. What does that mean for training value bonus?
That depends on the gun that you're using. You would have a modifier that would improve it. So
Okay.
this gun that you're using is also a 2. So you can use that to increase and improve your shot.
Okay. What does that mean for my roll?
So you have a value
Okay.
that then is doubled, and you get to subtract that from the roll.
Got it. So I subtract 4 from the roll. That's
Is it
still
doubled?
not much.
Yeah. So but it's
71
immediately off the top.
over.
You have no support with you.
No.
You have 71. As you're pulling yourself
71
up,
over
the weight
44.
of the missile launcher on your back kind of pulls you back, and you weren't expecting it, and the gun fires. You don't shoot the individual in their head, but you tag them in the shoulder, and they pull back.
Don't come closer.
You can't hear anything. You can't see anything. You don't know how they're reacting. You just see the light, the flickering firelight from the room, and you know it's the same open space that Kusanagi sent you into. It's just a different area from it.
I take the box and I jam it up against where the bomb is, against my neck, and I hold my gun out.
As you come up, you see Kusanagi, hands in the air, holding on to one of the detonators right here. Don't be an idiot. You've still got one friend here. And Kusanagi points back to Bebe, who's been bandaged up. And you see Spike next to that chair in the cage. Give me the box, and you all go free. Walk away, back into the woods.
Have one of your friends take this off first. And I point the pistol at the bomb. Or you lose this fucking box.
All right. One of his henchmen move closer to you and has a series of tools and a strange-looking key and gets behind you. Do you allow the collar to be removed?
And as an action of good faith, I will hold the box slightly away, also slightly away from this person removing it, to show that I am willing to toss it to Kusanagi the moment that this comes off of my neck.
All right. It's off your neck. What do you do?
There's no more on Bebe's neck either, correct?
There's no bomb on Bebe.
Kusanagi is in front of me.
Kusanagi is in front of you.
Bebe behind.
Bebe is behind Kusanagi.
I am going to edge around, if he'll let me, so that Bebe is at my side. Will he let me?
You start moving, and you watch as he drops the control and reaches down, pulling a pistol and holding it to Bebe. Give me that box.
Take it.
Do you hand it to him?
Yes, I do.
He takes it from your hand. Gun still trained on Bebe, steps back. And you feel someone from behind you kind of push you towards Bebe.
And I put a hand on her shoulder and we start backing out. I'm keeping my eyes on them.
You pick up the cage that Spike is in as well.
Can I just let Spike out?
If you take the time to do that.
Bebe, can you let Spike out? I don't know if she's strong enough to, but...
Well, Bebe's still strapped to the chair. You'd have to free Bebe first.
Fuck.
Bebe is in a wheeling chair. You can pull Bebe. Or you can grab the cage and carry it while you push, but it's going to keep your hands very busy.
Very busy.
It's almost as if Kusanagi counted on that.
How long is this room that we're in?
It's an enormous tunnel, as I described before,
Right.
20 feet high.
Fantastic.
There's jagged debris around you, a few large vehicles and machinery.
I take Bebe out of the chair if I can.
You rip the tape and break the chair enough that Bebe is free. Bebe kind of crumples into your arms, badly wounded.
Okay.
Stumbling, she isn't able to move very quickly.
We're gonna be okay. I promise.
Bebe leans down and opens the cage.
And we all start backing up.
At first, Spike charges Kusinagi
Spike, back!
and then stops and turns back, growling,
Come.
and the three of you back out.
Oh, we don't back out, Nox. We just back.
Against what?
I would like to get back about 100 feet.
You start moving back, and the others have guns kind of trained on you and the others. As you pull back about 100 feet, you see that Kusinagi stops paying attention to you and opens the box with a key that's hanging around his neck. He pulls out a VHS tape.
Of course it's a tape.
Bright colors. You're not sure what it is. But he looks at it and pulls the tape out. And he looks relieved.
Is anyone else looking at that tape? Or are they all trained
They're
on
all
me?
paying attention to you.
That makes a lot of sense. Are there any places in this tunnel that have a tunnel branching off of them that we could reach?
It's a straight shot, but if there's something that you want to duck behind, there are plenty of large pieces of machinery and vehicles that you
Fantastic.
could duck behind.
The minute that there is a vehicle that we could duck behind, I push Bebe behind it, take out the launcher, and get into half cover as I shoot it forward at them.
It's a big, dangerous weapon.
Yes,
but you
it
figure it out.
is.
You were paying attention to the instructions on the side of it when you picked it up. I'm going to allow you to just make a single long gun roll rather than make this more complicated.
How many competency do we have in the pool?
You better hope you have a lot.
2 or 3.
Okay. Oh, God. Sorry, the sound cut out. 3. Okay. Okay.
Do you have anything in long gun?
I have 33 in long gun. I don't have anything special in long gun.
3 degrees of failure. However, I'm going to give you 1 white die of improvement because you are no longer alone. It might make it better, but it's not going to fix all your problems.
We'll definitely suffer for this. But fuck Kusinagi. Fuck! Explosion.
1 more.
1. No, 6. Okay, so that's 61. So that's actually only 2 degrees of failure now. So,
3 competency points are available. You can make it 1 degree of success and drain the pool, knowing that I'm about to leave you.
you're about to leave me, though. I want to kill him so badly.
We all want you to kill him so badly.
We've come this far.
I train the missile launcher on Kusinagi. Getting into half cover. I know I only have a second before these other people take action, and I just yell, "Fucking die!" And I shoot it forward using the 3 competency points.
Kusinagi's jagged scarecrow face looks up at you. You don't see fear. You don't see anger. You see a broken man, content and ready to die. As the wall behind him explodes and caves in around him and the others, engulfed in flame, as the missile launcher shoots its single shot, and the entire tunnel begins to shake as other explosives that have been laced into the wall start to detonate.
Okay. I go and I grab Bebe and I throw her
Faith.
around my shoulder.
You didn't expect it to happen so quickly. You were making your way back to the front lines and you hear the explosion, and then another and another and another. As behind you, the south lot caves in on itself.
Good man. It's done.
The horde that was descending upon Southgate was completely engulfed in the explosion. You see the dead, as they were bringing themselves down, started to cross just as the sergeant made his play and saved Pinehaven.
Is it done?
You're on your knees, exhausted. You hear the gunfire start to slow in the distance. You feel a hand on your shoulder. Then you see the blade as Cammy stands over you. She's holding a pistol.
What are you doing? It's done. You saved us. I've saved us.
You did. You did, Faith. Thank you. Come on, let's get you back. And she picks you up and starts walking you back to Pinehaven. Achira, DT, and Lampwick. Lampwick. You feel them off in the distance. You feel the presence of that thing as the blue star explodes over and over again. Then there's more explosions as the night is lit up and the ground rumbles, and all of you feel it as Pinehaven shakes. The blue star stops its signaling. It doesn't explode again, and there's a moment of quiet. What do the three of you do?
You have a deal.
All of us.
All of you. But I want DT to go in your place. I will stay with you. And we'll figure out a way to get you back. Does that make sense? Because your sugar is more sugar than you are, Lampwick. And I want to bring Lampwick back. But you're too volatile. DT can finish this for us.
DT goes back to this place.
Steel City.
What about the rest of them?
They will go too. Not to Steel City, but nearby. We will make this work because we have to think about the future with it. This is bigger than us.
And then, where do I go?
With me.
Where?
Wherever we need to go to get you back.
DT, you have a say in this.
What happens at Steel City?
Steel City, you'll meet a doctor there. Dr. Banneries. The specters that I'm with will also protect you against anybody living that tries to hurt you. You'll be the other half of the puzzle that helps us get this cure, to make this choice. This isn't going to happen overnight. This is going to take time. But there are decent people there, and they are trying to do a good thing.
How do I know you guys just won't kill me?
Because you're too important, DT. You're too important to me. You're too important to Lampwick. You're too important to the future.
Father? Do you trust her?
I don't know. I want to.
Lampwick.
I want to.
will not leave my sister. She cannot go without me. I love her.
You'd be welcome there, Sugar.
You see as Sugar grabs onto DT's hand and holds it and looks to you, mirroring the emotion that you see in DT's face. Father, is this what you want from us? To leave you?
I want you to decide for yourself. You know what we're up against. You know everything. I've talked to you about everything.
You have been everything, Father.
I'll come back for you. I know I'm losing something of myself.
What do you want?
I just want what's best with everyone. I just don't want anyone to die. I don't want you to die. Do you want to go, Sugar?
I only want to be near you.
I can't do this. I can't do it, Achira. I can't leave her. I can't. And if that's not proof of my humanity, then I don't know what is. The fact that I'm not willing to abandon them.
It won't be forever.
That last word, Achira, it catches. Without your helmet on, the dart enters into your neck extremely quickly. As you stumble forward and everything goes dark. Lampwick,
No.
she falls forward.
I go to catch her.
You catch her in your arms. What do you do, DT?
I just look to Father, ask him, what is this? What do we do now?
Fight! And I take off with Achira. No! I take off with
Achira remains in your arms, but as you scream forward, you feel it rising in you, and everything goes black. Sometime later, though none of you see it, both Achira and Lampwick are taken away. You wake first, Achira. You find yourself in a sterile white cell. A thick piece of glass is your only window out, but it doesn't lead to a laboratory. It leads to another cell, and you see the thing that Lampwick has become, stalking backwards and forwards. His face is barely his own. Dark tendrils spread out. He lopes back and forth in the glass, watching you, looking at you. Eyes like black onyxes, staring at you. You know we didn't want this, but you gave us no choice.
There was a choice. There was a choice.
We
It was-
can't risk losing you.
No.
The bond that you have with this creature, it's so special. And we will save you both
No, this wasn't.
and all of humanity together. And even though you cannot see it, somewhere else in this same facility, a number of bodies are laid out, charred and broken on dissection tables. One of them is Cain.
Oh, God.
Half burnt. An arm missing, as well as a leg. Her body is laid out, and she has been cleaned and put into a dressing gown. Next to her is a trail of blood and a shattered glass window that is spread all across this laboratory. Amongst the shards of broken glass are pools of blood. As a young woman's feet bare walk across the glass, it crunches. She seems completely oblivious to the pain. Moving across, there are a number of technicians, laboratory technicians that work and live within Steel City. Their heads are completely gone. Their bodies sprayed out like rag dolls across the room. Bits of bone and blood, the only thing to indicate that the head was ever there. And this girl, Bebe, burnt, walks across the room following after a frightened woman in a lab coat as she pulls herself back, desperately reaching for an enormous switch. The sign underneath it reads emergency containment. Shh. Hush. Don't scream. The woman yells in pain as the hand comes forward, closer to that switch. But Bebe reaches out with unnatural speed and like tinfoil crushes the hand. Good night.